always be some give and take. And the challenge happens when we let go of the line. When we release the tension, we say, you know what? Okay, I'm happy with the box. Bring it. And we start asking for the path as opposed to making the case for why we're not quite the path. We start saying, okay, so what do I need on my performance review? What is the next stretch assignment? How do I get P&L experience? How do I do all the things that you say I should be doing on the path? Because when we start doing that, that tension that should be in the line between us and the organization has got to go someplace. One guess where it goes, right here. We end up looking at something like this. We have an org chart, and this is how most of us see it. And we try to make sense of this. We say, all right, there's me, there's where I want to go, there's where I'm supposed to be. I have this poser of the boss between me and there. That other manager, he's okay. I wonder how I can get to go work for him. That'd be kind of nice. Really, I want to be up at the top. I got these coworkers, I don't know who they are today. This is completely unnatural. This is an average thing. Go find me a box in nature. Go find me a right angle in nature. Find me a straight line in nature. You can't do it. Even the horizon is curved. So when we start looking at this, occupying these boxes, we have a problem. It actually is a pretty bad problem. It's worse than most of you realize. There's a lot of manifestations that tension takes when we start to internalize it. I want to cover 4 this morning. The first one is, when we try to live that grid, it amplifies our fear of failure. When I talk to a group like this, if I were to ask you how many of you fear failure, I know most of the hands would go up. Technically, psychologically speaking, you don't fear failure. It's a stressor. Threats are to your well-being and what you fear. There's nothing inherently in failure that is threatening. Be that as it may, we'll stick with lay language. This amplifies the fear of failure. Why? Because you're given a path, and you're told this is the path you need to follow in order to succeed. And then you look at that and you say, well, okay, I've got to thread this needle in order to succeed. And the implication here is that every other path that's available to you somehow leads to failure, which means you wake up every morning, and somewhere in the back of your brain, you're thinking success is basically a lottery ticket away. Because the odds of me hanging on to this clear path for as long as I need to hang on to it to succeed, the chances are slim to none. Chances are far greater that I'm going to fall off at some point. I'm going to choose the wrong boss. I'm going to choose the wrong mentor. I'm going to choose the wrong job. So our fear of failure becomes amplified in our own minds. Now it turns out, scientists have recently discovered that rudeness and negativity are bad for you. And not just like, oh, they're bad for you in a kumbaya kind of sense of the way. They're neurotoxins. Scientists, researchers have been studying the brains of children and have found the day in, day out exposure to those nitty-gritty little you can't, you're not good enough, change the way kids' brains are wired. The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere do not merge when kids are exposed to long-term negativity and rudeness. Think about that. You wake up every day, and the back of your brain is telling yourself that you have a very low likelihood of success. Now, adult brains and kids' brains are different, but I'd be very surprised to find that the impact is significantly different. Maybe a slower burn, but geez, you're putting a neurotoxin in your brain every morning when you wake up and think that. That's only one problem with following your career path. The second is that you find yourself in an amplified and artificial competitive race. We call it the rat race. Some of you may be familiar with it. I was out in California last month. I was having lunch with a friend of mine. She's a product manager, a very successful, very high-level product manager in a very large company. Some of you who work for larger companies, I know you use your product, you use their products. If you've ever traveled through an airport, you've seen ads for this company's products. She had just launched a very successful new product, the first one in years of the company. I said, how you doing? She said, I'm okay. Product launch went great. I just wrapped up a 3-month victory lap. I said, what do you mean victory lap? She said, well, I got to get credit for the work. This organization had her in her pigeonhole box. She was a competent product developer. So were a lot of other people. So she launches this product and now starts a 3-month tour of duty to go and get in front of the right people so they know it was her ideas that caused this product launch to be successful. And I'm thinking to myself, there's 15 other people on your team that are all doing the same thing. 1 full quarter of your life and 15 of your peers burned because of a political, artificial competition. You couldn't come together. There was no we. There was the artificial we when we were all occupying this box, and as soon as this thing was done, it turned into I. 3 months of her life devoted to I. And I'm thinking, oh my, the price of this software, you're getting paid a year's salary, you're highly capable, and yet a quarter of your salary goes to just the political infighting. I found that hard to believe. The optimist in me found it hard to believe. The pragmatist in me, I get it. So living your career path leads to an amplified fear of failure. It's artificial competition. It also leads to an amplified fear of loss. And of all the things that I see in organizations, this is the one that most drives politics, more so than competition. And it looks like this. As soon as you start following your career path, you've got this choice, the security versus self-determination, live your story choice. And they start off pretty much in balance, and they get a little outweighed. The organization does its sales job. And you know what, organizations have learned to do a really good sales job, and we want to be quiet. And over time, these two things drift until they get significantly out of whack. And at that moment, we are now of 2 minds. And the part of us that wants to determine our own path starts raising its hand and saying, hey, you know what, I've given up some stuff here. You know, I got some relationships that are missing. And the other side, the security side, the analytical side, says, don't worry about it. We got security, we got a career path, we got the trajectory, we got all the straight lines, I got this. 300 million people in America can't be wrong, it's okay, settle down. And this side of the brain says, well, no, wait a second, you know, I've been traveling a lot for work, I thought I'd have a family by now, I thought I'd have kids by now, you know, I don't even see my existing family as it is, let alone I'm not even dating anyone to go in. And this side of us is, okay, you know what, I'm tired of you complaining, here's a nice car. Here's a corner office. Yeah, okay, I guess I can plug this hole in the car. Corner office, yeah, I'll go here. Oh, what, travel perks? Okay. Boom. A buddy of mine in Chicago calls it the corporate morphine dread. Put you on it, it's very hard to get off once you're on it. But what happens is, over time, this side gets more controlling. And this side gets more lonely. It's like, oh, yeah, there's another perk, jamming over here. And over time, those relationships that aren't growing. So the void that this side of you is dealing with expands. And the perks start slowing down. You know, there's only so many cars you can go collect. And so this side of you starts saying, all right, well, you know, I guess that car, let's stretch it and let's make it more important. And let's take that corner office and let's turn it into a corner office with a couch and let's stretch it. And pretty soon, this gap, this void in your being that no longer exists because you're too far out of balance, is filled up with stuff. And you can almost see the day when executives wake up and they say, gosh, you know what, I'm too far gone. I'm so far out of balance. I don't have enough days left in my life to go rebuild the relationships over here. I better be careful, because that stuff is all I got. And that corner office, and that car, and the corporate expense account, my control over a budget line item, and the fact that I've got people working for me, this is the stuff that now defines me. And I gotta leave it in place here, because if that goes away, I got problems. I'm gonna have a hole in my life that I just can't deal with. And when that happens, this side of you says, well, you know what? I guess you were right all along. I better be careful too. Most of you, when you start your careers, look up and you see things, you see executives making decisions that seem silly. And oftentimes they seem silly, but there's good reasons for them. Sometimes when you see a silly decision, it's because somebody cannot let go of that budget. Somebody cannot take the risk to not hit their number, because if they don't hit their number, they don't make their bonus, they're not able to put the amount of money they want to put into their kids' 401k or 529 plans, or they're not able to maintain the country club membership. If they ever lose their stuff, they have no way to define themselves anymore. They've gotten so far away from their stories that they're stuck. I don't wish that on anybody in the room. But that is an outcome.